Basic Math 7. Let's go over the review worksheet that we're doing today. So we're going to go over each one of those problems. I don't think we may go over all of them, okay? The first ones, 1 through 4, all you have to do is change those into fractions, right? So remember, you take the number as a percent and put it over 100 and then reduce it down. Number 1 would be 52 over 100, reduce that down. That's pretty simple. When you get to 3 and 4, remember, if they have a number that's over 100, this number right here in the hundreds place becomes a whole number, and then you've got 50 over 100. That one should be pretty easy to reduce down, okay? So, number 3 and 4 have ones that are more than 100 if the number that's in the hundreds spot becomes a whole number, and then the rest of it becomes a fraction. Okay, so mixed numbers on 3 and 4. Number 5, okay, let's look at that. It says, in a public opinion poll, 75 questionnaires were sent out, 225 questionnaires were returned. What percent was returned? So that one you're going to go 225 over 750. Okay, divide that out. Okay, use calculator if you'd like. 225 divided by 750. And then take that answer, whatever it is, answer, and multiply it times 100 to find your percent. Okay? It comes out as a whole percent. It doesn't have any decimals in the percent on that one, so that one should be easy. All right. Okay, moving on. 6 through 9, changing a percent to decimal. When we go percent to decimal, we move the decimal place 2 places to the left. Watch out for number 9, okay? 8 and 9. Number 9, when it's 3.4%, if I move the decimal 2 places, there's an open area there. What do you do when that happens? You should know how to do that by now, okay? And change that into the decimal. All right, moving on. We're rolling through. We're already almost halfway through. Okay, number 10. Solve. The choir needs to replace 0.7 of its robes. What percent is this? Change a decimal to a percent. That means when we change decimal to percent, the decimal point moves that way times 2. Okay? So decimal to percent moves to the left 2 places. If you're going percent to decimal, it goes 2 times to the right. That's how the decimal moves. Okay? There's our little rule of thumb. Number 11. What percent of 85 is 17? Okay, let's set that one up. N percent times 85. The word is means equals 17. So in this one, what you do is you take this number and divide it. So you're going to take 17 divided by 85, and then take the answer times 100 to get your percent. That's how you do number 11. Number 12, let's read the problem and put it down correctly. What is, or what n is 15% of 50? Of means times. Change your 15 to a decimal. There we go. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. All right, number 13. Moving on. 60 birds are kept in a large aviary at the zoo. This is 30% of the total number of birds on display. How many birds are on display? So 30% of n equals the 60 birds that we have. So in order to do this, change our percent to a decimal and then divide 60 by 0.30. There's your answer right there. It should be a lot more than 60, okay, when you divide it like that. All right. Moving on. Number 14. Okay, so 14 through 16 are all done the same way. this is changing, this is like finding the percent of increase or decrease of each number. So remember, this is kind of a two-step problem. So we take the first part, and you got your two numbers, 50 to 20. Okay, so the first part is you subtract those two. Let's go ahead and go through that one together. 50 minus 20 is 30. Okay, this becomes what we call the AOC, or the amount of change. You remember that? So then that amount of change becomes the numerator, the top number, and then whatever the first number is, that's the denominator. 30 divided by 50. Okay, we can find the percent of change by dividing this and then multiplying our answer times 100. 30 divided by 50. Mr. Lindblad got 0.6. And then I take 0.6 times 100. That gives me the answer of 60. So the answer for number 14 is 60. Okay. 15 and 16 are done the same way. All right? I can help set it up for you just for a second here. I'm not going to give you the answers on these though. So on this one, you always take the larger number minus the smaller number. Whatever that is, the AOC over the original amount. Now the original amount in this one, the first number was 40. Remember, take your answer times 100. So subtract, divide, multiply. 3 steps. Subtract it, divide, and then multiply times 100, and your answer will end up with a percent symbol on it. Let's look at number, and that was number 15, not 14. Let's look at number 16. The two numbers that we have there are 75 and 24. Once again, subtract, that gives me the AOC, the amount of change. The amount of change is then divided by the original amount, which is the first number. Okay, then we multiply our answer times 100 and give it a percent sign for the answer. It's that simple. So there's number 16 set up. Subtract, divide by 75, multiply your answer times 100, and that'll give you your percent. Okay, 16's done. Let's move on. Woo! All right, each of these will be kind of different going through each of them because they do like one problem per section. And actually, if you're listening, don't worry about doing problem 21, the compound interest. Don't forget about that. Oh, just forget about that one, all right? We will do 20 with the simple interest, but let's not worry about 21, okay? So if you watch the video, you know you don't have to do problem 21. If you don't, you missed out on that little tip, okay? That's why I put it later in the video so people have to actually watch to this point to find out. All right, number 17. So this one's about an increase or decrease. Once again, so we have $25 is increased to $525. What was the percent of increase? This is just like the percent or increase or decrease that we did on the last three. So we set it up like this. You take 525 minus 25. Get that amount of change, and then take that and divide it by the first number, and then multiply it times 100. Okay, this is going to be a large percent. Okay, that is a huge amount of change of increase there. Okay, all right, almost like 500%. I think I just marked the side of my chin. That's okay. All right, so that's how you do times 100. That's how you do number 17, excuse me. Okay? Number 18. Here we go. 18 says, the price of a new boat model was marked up by 8%. Okay? Over the previous year's model. If the new boat costs $6,750, what's last year's price? So 8% of the number of last year's price would equal the amount of change. Okay? Got to make sure we get this one right. All right, let's think about this for a second. So, if the new boat costs $6,750, okay? All right, we know this is kind of a back-ended problem, okay? We know that this is not actually 8%, okay? We actually know that 8% of the original price will give us the amount of change that we need. So in this one, what we want to do is we actually don't want to do 8%, but we want to do 92% of the original. No. 108% of the original will be 6,750. The reason we know that is because it's 8% more than what the original price is. So with the original price would have been 100%, 108% would have been that. So in this situation, we change 108% to a decimal, which is 1.08. Okay? So, in order to find the original price, we have to divide 6,750 by 1.08. That one's kind of a tricky one. All right? Just make sure you do that, and that will give us our answer. Okay, moving on. Number 19. Two more to do here, since we're not doing 21. 19 says, Crystal's Fish Market sold $4,200 worth of fish last week. If Crystal's costs were $3,696, what is her percent of profit? Okay, so we're going to find the amount of change, or the amount of profit that she made, and that would have been taking the how much they sold minus how much they paid. Okay, so that gives us the AOP, or the AOC, and then we divide that by how much they made. Okay, the original amount. At the end, you multiply it times 100, and that'll give you your percent. Okay, so subtraction, divide, multiply. You kind of see that same kind of pattern in a lot of our problems here. All right, let's do the last one, which will use the formula that I have up here on top. How much simple interest is due on a $5,000 loan with 18% rate? So I changed that to 0.18 as a decimal, times the amount of time that we're going to use. And it has on here 1.5 years. So I'll change 1.5 to 1.5. And it's that simple. Once you find the interest, do they want to know? Yeah, they just want to know what the simple interest. Okay? So they don't want you to add the interest back to the principal at the end. That's it. So just take 5,000 times 0.18 times 1.5. That is number 20. The trickiest one of the bunch was number 18. So hopefully you saw how to set up that one. Okay, if you didn't, go back and look at it again. All right, good luck. Have fun doing those. Okay. I will be sending out the test tomorrow. Good luck on that one too. See ya.